Hello, today we're going over the Canny Valley tunnel amp, or the my B. It's the one down here in the pit area, and we're just going to, for safety purposes, we're going to do our standard little cover. We're also going to put just a 3x3 ceiling on there. And that's all you need for the mini bosses and smashers that bust through here on the last waves. That you have to most often than not that the smashers die, but on this one corner on the southeast we're gonna add a cone, and that way if your team members and you're not away from the keyboard, you can sit right here, and it's like a perfect little snipe point right down the tunnel for those pesky propanes, those piney propanes. And yeah, believe it or not, this is the main trap tunnel of this amp. It's a 3x3 or 2x3, I mean, with the standard wall darts at the end. We're gonna add a wall dynamo with a couple smasher deterrents for the ceilings, and the wall darts and stuff I'm using are right here, and the wall dynamos are ones with a high crit damage, which are preferable for those husky husks. And the smashers usually don't get pushed 3 tiles, but we're going to leave this open so we can easily see down in the tunnel. And if possible, if it lets you, sometimes the canny glitches. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but you can build all the way down the tunnel sometimes, and sometimes it won't let you build. But this is the wall launcher where you're going to use 3 impact with increased health, which will deter the smasher from wanting to smash that tile. They'll actually run straight for the wall darts right in front of them, and they usually die before then. And go ahead and fill this tunnel up with traps if you have the room. Like all the I have high level traps, but if you have low level traps and you have extra tiles, and the game's not broken, Canny's broken, and it doesn't let you build in this tunnel sometimes. Believe it or not, this is a high propane amp, and we're just going to push them back temporarily until they get around here, which we're going to add sound walls, preferably around this area, with a couple wall darts. The same wall darts that I usually use with the crit damage, one durability, and with ceiling electric fields for that zappy. And we're gonna push them 3. Most of these the wooden floor, wooden wall launchers have 3 impact, and it works pretty well. And this one you might add 4 impact if you want. It might push them back just one little tile that usually stops them for about 2 or 3 seconds, if not more, if they get snubbled up. And this is the main kill point of the tunnel. All this other stuff is extra, and every wall around the entire spawn point over here has a wall dart on it. You do not necessarily have to do that. And yeah, just the standard trap. This thing was going to push them into that tunnel, and if propane does detonate, this wall will get a little bit of heal with that. This will zap them, and if they walk up here, which they, depending on your away from keyboard spot, the random assassin husks which need to be assassinated will run up that ramp instead of going through the tunnel. if your team members are in the tunnel shooting at the enemies, the assassin husk may detour a certain way that's not intended. My away from keyboard spot is on top of home base, and it works wonderful. And the wall darts are just junk. These are sometimes they'll spawn in and destroy them anyway. And one of the block offs you're gonna have to have is down here. It's a simple block off. It has about two block off tunnels, two tiles in there, with just a turret, just to push them off of there. You can add more damage to this just to keep the assassins off there. Our slinger wall, which will be like I say up top, two tiles from there, and go ahead and block this off if you want. And that'll also help. And we're just going to spawn kill them with the standard two tiles off the ground. Keep it away from the hills up here, because sometimes they'll spawn on top of those hills over there, and they'll walk down. So you don't want them walking on top of your slinger wall. So yeah, this will spawn tease them. You gotta tease them before you kill them. In the this and the propane usually die around this area until around wave 20 or so, and then you'll have to and this is the block off you need. It's about two tiles roughly, even with the wall over here, and that's floor angle wall on just too deep. Just get it in there all deep like. Yeah, two tiles off the ground. You can add an extra trap up there if you would like. And also we should probably have cones right here just in case. But the propane always go through the tunnel, especially after the smashers destroy everything. That's always fun. By the way, if this is helpful, go ahead and consider subscribing. It's really helpful for the channel, and it shows that y'all like what I do. I can continue doing this in the future, and I appreciate it. Moving on, we're going to cover the sound wall that I'm using for this. Is just a standard one with like 70 durability, just to make sure that propane gets off those husky husks. If you're unaware of the update, the sound wall no longer counts for CC, which is great. So feel free to add a couple extra sound walls to your trap tunnels at any location that you feel that the propane is annoying. It's really helpful. And either way, you'll still kill them anyway with the wall darts, or the wooden floor don't. Yeah, so they'll run this way, boom, boom, like that. And we're covering both sides of the amps today. And some of the deterrents that we're going to have for the smashers that run through this, which they do, because this amp design isn't a smasher recycler kind of design. This is more of a heavy damage design, and we're going to add. I was just testing it with sniper rifles with obliviators. You can use whatever defenders you want. But if you're unaware, you have 8 defenders you can use if you're solo during your endurances. So yeah, you can waste 8 low-level malachite weapons if you don't want to throw that stuff on the ground, and just the bullets are a dime a dozen nowadays, especially with the new HC throwing 20k worth of bolts into my inventory, which is really great now that my inventory is half full of bolts that I'm never going to use. If you would like those back, feel free to ask me, HC. And that's a little inside joke. And then moving on. And we're going to briefly go over the next spawn point, which is north. And some of the traps you're going to need around the amp for smasher deterrents are like this, with their wall dynamo, with the crit smashy reload like that, feel free to pause the video and look at the yeah. Yeah, you know, like there you go. And it's right next to the amp. We're gonna push them 3 impact, like a normal tunnel, and this one next to the hill is gonna also push them 3, which is gonna push them into the tunnel. That's gonna push them into this wall launcher that pushes them down there and with the 1 impact, and it's gonna recycle them about 3 or 4 recycles of their CC, which is perfectly fine because the wall arts usually kill most of them before they break back through their CC recycle there on that thing. Anyway, and then continuing from the hill is this is where we're going to be focusing more on propane. Propane is a yeah, you're already aware of the propane, and this is a 3 impact, which is going to push some of the propane if they make it this far, which they will on a later wave, because of the durability of the traps usually run down. And we're going to be spawn camping them, or spawn killing them with this 2 tiles off the ground, sealing electric fields. And the tunnel right here is on the west side of the little natural spawn, which we're just going to put a couple sound walls of your choosing with alternate timings, preferably, just to make sure you get them down. Yeah. And now the spawn fun. This is actually a really fun spawn because they spawn right here and destroy half of these walls. But we're gonna place them anyway. If you have extra any level wall darts, will work here. Just completely surround their spawn, and one of their spawns is up there. They'll fall right down here, and you can actually spawn kill them with the natural terrain. That's if you have not destroyed it in this tunnel over here on the east side. This is a secret, and hopefully they don't fix it. The natural terrain, for the most part, doesn't get destroyed by the husk. So no matter how many tests I did, they never destroyed any of the flooring when they spawned right in that tunnel over there. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's like a secret or not, but the natural, there's 4 just natural floor panels in that tunnel over there, which are fun. And this one's going to be a little fun, yeah, like this, which is it helps to deter some of the propane from making it through our tunnel, which we may need for a later wave. So yeah, and really quickly I'll run back to the amp, but that's it for this amplifier, believe it or not. And if this was helpful, consider subscribing, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see y'all again soon. Bye. And here's a little final look at the top of, yeah, that's kind of ugly, but you know, what can you do?